to my top 10 review problems. Let's get started with number 10. So this one involves a Bohr model and PES, which stands for photoelectron spectrum. And so what we've done here is we've got a carbon atom. So the first thing I want to do is look at the Bohr model. And so I see that I've got 6 electrons. That's good. And there are 2 on the first level and 4 on the second level. So that makes sense. Now we're going to go over to the PES. So let's take a second and just sort of break this down. Let me show you how to interpret this. So what we're looking at is energy. And what kind of energy are we showing here? This is really the binding energy or ionization energy for an electron. And so what happens is you're basically going to add energy to an atom, and when you get to enough energy, an electron will fly off. Okay, so the first 2 that come, notice that this is the 0 energy on the right, and it increases as we go to the left. So first thing we notice is that what will take the least amount of energy? The electrons farthest from the nucleus. And so I'm going to label the nucleus over here. So I know my nucleus, the electrons closest to the nucleus have the most amount of energy. They're the last ones to come off, okay? And so the first 2, notice we have relative number. And so I know that closest to the nucleus is what? N equals 1. And so here is my 1s. So I've got 2 electrons in the 1s. And then where we go next? Well, we've got 2 electrons in the 2s, right? And then we've got 2 electrons in, what's next after 2s? We've got the 2p orbitals. So this checks out as far as carbon goes. We've got 6 electrons and they're all in the right place. Now the question is there anything in the PES data that requires revision of the Bohr model? So what is different about these 2? And so these are both accurate, right? This is a good Bohr model and a good PES, but what could be revised? Well, what it looks like here is the big area of concern. The big area of concern is right here. I've got 2 electrons that require more energy than the other 2. And so what we know is that the 2p electrons, these electrons are actually farther from the nucleus. They're farther from the nucleus than the 2s electrons. And so what it looks like in the Bohr model is that all 4 electrons in level 2 are the same distance from the nucleus. But what we know is that those 2p orbitals, they are slightly farther from the nucleus than the 2s. And that's the data that we get from the PES. So that is how I would answer that question.